Santana stated, quote, "I know it sounds new age, but in my meditation, this entity, which is called Metatron, he said, we want to hook you back to the radio airwave frequency. We want to reach junior high schools, and universities." Carlos Santana said that these spirits, which as we shall see in a little bit, were actually devils, had supernaturally brought different musicians to him and worked in the musical arena to bring them all together for this Landside album appropriately called Supernatural. Santana said, "I heard this entity wanted me to know I would be hooked up with the right writers, musicians, and producers for the purpose of reaching high school and college kids, so my inner instructions were clear." He said that Eric Clapton wanted to know if he could play on the album. He said, "All the people who played on the record said that they had heard my music before I called them, or that I appeared to them in dreams or something." Santana said they knew what was coming before they got the call. Santana admits that he is channeling music from the same spirit entities that used Jimi Hendrix, who himself claimed to be demon-possessed. He said, quote, "There is an invisible radio that Jimi Hendrix and Coltrane tuned into, and when you go there, you start channeling other music." Santana told Rolling Stone magazine, quote, "You meditate and you got the candles, you got the incense, and you've been chanting, and all of a sudden you hear this voice, write this down." Santana described receiving information from the spirit world like a human fax machine.
He sat me down and he told me that he had done his meditations and that he had spoken with his wife and that he had spoken with the angels, and they had come to him and they had told him that this is what he needs to do.
Santana's angels are really devils who are using Santana to communicate Satan's age-old lie that we are gods.
Like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I want to get tapped into what he's doing.
And what you're going to see with regard to Jimi Hendrix is that not only did he admit to being demon-possessed, but he admitted that his music had just come out of him, and that it affected other people because these demons were using his music. And Jimi Hendrix, even decades after he died, Rolling Stone put him on the front cover of one of their magazines and touted him as the greatest guitarist of all time. He's still regarded that way. And in VH1's countdown of best artists, he made the top 5. But what you're about to see is that Jimi Hendrix was really not Jimi Hendrix. The power of Jimi Hendrix was a demon spirit, or more than one demon spirit, using him and channeling music through him, even as we saw earlier with Carlos Santana, who spoke of channeling the same music that Jimi Hendrix does. Let's check out this clip and see what happened in the 60s through music. Jimi Hendrix, who claimed to be a voodoo child, stated, quote, "Things like witchcraft, which is a form of exploration and imagination, have been banned by the establishment and called evil. It's because people are frightened to find out the full power of the mind." The satanic powers Hendrix unleashed through his music, though, were absolutely destructive. Jimi Hendrix opened himself up to demonic beings who used him to initiate the hippie youth into the counterculture revolution. Alan Douglas, the executive curator of Hendrix's musical estate, admitted his spirit possession.
Now, one of the biggest things about Jimmy was what he believed, and he believed that he was possessed by some spirit, and I got to believe it myself, and that's what we had to deal with all the time. And he was very humble about discussing it with people because he didn't want people to feel like he was being pretentious and so on, but he really believed it, right? And he was wrestling with it constantly.
Jimi Hendrix's live-in girlfriend, Fane Pridgeon, also spoke of Hendrix's admission to being demon-possessed and related his demon possession to the reception of his music.
He used to always talk about some devil or something was in him, you know, and he didn't have any control over it. He didn't know what made him act the way he acted and what made him say the things he said, and songs and different things like that just come out of him, you know. But at first I used to think it was a cop-out when he had really done me in, right? And he'd say, "I don't know what come over me, you know, I really can't understand it." And, you know, he used to just, you know, grab his hair or something, or put his hand, or stand in the mirror or cry or something. Oh, Lord, it was so sad when he would cry. Maybe he was the first man, or maybe the only man that I've ever seen cry, you know, but it just killed me when he cried, because he felt like, it seems like to me he was so tormented and just torn apart, and like he really was obsessed, you know, with something really evil, you know. And he said, you know, like, you're from Georgia, you know, he said, I should know how, you know, people drive demons. He actually thought about, you know, if we ever go, because I used to talk about my grandmother and all her weird stuff, you know, and he used to talk about us going down there and having some root lady or somebody see if she could drive this demon out of him.
Make a whole lot of money. Gonna be big, yeah.
Blues master B.B. King said, quote, "As a musician, Robert Johnson had it all."
I think he's the greatest folk blues guitar player that ever lived, and the greatest singer, the greatest writer.
You know, you think you were getting a handle on playing the blues, and then to hear Johnson, you say, whoa, there's a long way to go yet.
It's still the most powerful cry that I think you can find in music of the human voice.
Blues master and Johnson's mentor, Son House, said of him before Johnson's transformation, "He sat at our feet and played during the break, and such another racket you've never heard." Son House said he made the audiences mad with his racket. Son House went on to say of Johnson before he made his alleged pact with Satan that he was a talentless and even an irritating guitar player.
But he's followed me and Willie around on Saturday night, Willie Brown. And every time we stopped for rest and sit at a little guitar over in the corner or something and go out to catch air, get the guitar and be trying to play it and be just noising the people, And the folks would come out and say, "Why don't some of y'all go in there and make that boy get that thing down? He running us crazy." Finally, he left. He run off from his father and mother. And he went over in Arkansas someplace. He was gone about 6 to 8 months.
It was during this period of 6 to 8 months that it is said that he made his pact with Satan on the crossroads of Highway 49 and 61 in Clarksdale, Mississippi. It was at these crossroads where the legendary experiences of Johnson trading in his eternal soul for temporary fame was said to have taken place in Clarksdale, Mississippi.
Well, they say he sold himself to the devil, and that's what they say.
I heard a lot of people say that he sold himself to the devil, went to the crossroads and all that. But
after Johnson's alleged pact with Satan, everything changed as Johnson went from being the worst blues guitarist in a matter of months to the best. Some musicians who knew Johnson claimed that Johnson himself admitted that he sold his soul to Satan.
He said he done that, went to the crossroads.
I was up this morning.
Son House said that when Johnson returned after 6 to 8 months, everything changed as Johnson was transformed almost before their very eyes.
Then he come back. When he come back, me and Willie Brown was playing out there, and he walked in. He said, can I hit a little tune? I said, "Nah, don't come back with that, Robert." I said, "You know the people don't want to hear that racket." He said, let them say what they want to say. I want you to see what I learned.
Son House said when he finished, all of our mouths were standing open. They couldn't believe what they were hearing. Son House declared emphatically, quote, "He sold his soul to the devil to play like that." Forward.
Your stairway lies on the whispering wind.
says, and your stairway lies on the whispering wind. Backwards it says, 'cause I live with Satan. Listen carefully. The demons lift up, because this isn't Led Zeppelin, this is spiritism, and spirits working through Robert Plant. Backwards, they lift up the backwards path. Backwards, it says, here's to my sweet Satan. Did you hear that? Listen carefully. It says, I want to live it backwards, like the Zepp, whose power is Satan. Did you hear that? Then it says, he will give you 666. Raise your hands if you heard that. Okay, it's quite obvious and it's quite clear.
I struggle with some of the lyrics from particular periods of time, and I don't know, the musicality and the construction of it is it's peerless. But maybe I didn't quite feel the same about the lyrics a little bit later on in life as I got a bit further down the road. Maybe I'm still trying to work out what I was talking about.
Maybe you were channeling, Robert.
Channeling is a good one, yeah. Owen Glendower is, that's where it came from, yeah.
We have already seen that Page admitted, I've employed Crowley's system into my own day-to-day life, and that is the way big names are made these days. Crowley's system was to establish contact with demons, spirits. The biography Hammer of the Gods states that Jimmy spent his days in his suite with his shades drawn and candles lit. He spent his days and nights wide awake, holding his guitar, waiting for something to come through. Robert Plant admitted that his reception of the song was automatic. In the occult, automatic writing takes place as a demon channels a message through the human medium. He must have written 3/4 of the lyrics on the spot, said Page. He didn't have to go away and think about them. Robert Plant admitted, Page had written the chords and played them for me. I was holding the paper and pencil, and for some reason I was in a very bad mood. Then all of a sudden, I was writing out words. There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold and she's buying a stairway to heaven. I just sat there and looked at the words, and then I almost leapt out of my seat. Stairway to Heaven is actually laced with backwards satanic messages. We are talking about words that say one thing forward, and then when those same words are played backwards, there is yet another intelligible message. This satanic phenomena goes far beyond the scope of human ingenuity and is demonically inspired. Bob Garcia of A&M Records stated, quote, it must be the devil because nobody here knows how to do it. Here we see Robert Plant, while singing Stairway to Heaven, telling his fans that sometimes words have two meanings, as he signs with his hands that they are both forward and backwards.
There's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure, 'cause sometimes words have two meanings.
The rock group Led Zeppelin came crashing down after the sudden and unexpected death of their drummer, John Bonham. Zeppelin, who sang about having hellhounds on their trail, met with many bizarre tragedies before their ultimate demise. In 1975, both Robert Plant and his former wife, Maureen, were severely injured in an almost fatal car accident in the island of Rhodes. Rock journalist Gary Herman, in his book Rock and Roll Babylon, noted the strange course of events that had come to be known as the Zeppelin Curse, picking it up in 1976. He stated, quote, it is certainly true that Led Zeppelin as a group have had a peculiarly tragic record of untimely death and severe accidents associated with themselves and their entourage. In 1976, Zepp associate Keith Harwood died in mysterious circumstances. Keith Ralph, formerly of the Yardbirds, which formed the nucleus of Zepp, committed suicide, and the wife of Zepp's road manager, Richard Cole, also died. In 1977, Robert Plant's 5-year-old son, Carrick, died of a virus infection while the group was touring in America. He states that Philip Hale, a photographer, friend of Jimmy Page's, died at one of Page's homes after ingesting too much morphine, cocaine, and alcohol. And in 1980, at another of Page's houses, John Bonham met with his untimely end. Bonham, Led Zeppelin's drummer, like Jimi Hendrix and Bon Scott of AC/DC before him, choked to death on his own vomit. According to coroner's reports, he had consumed the equivalency of 40 measures of vodka. Many of the tragedies that had befallen Led Zeppelin were in fact self-inflicted. After doctors referred to the infection that took Robert Plant's son Carrick as being strange and very rare, Robert Plant later said, quote, "Why do these terrible things keep happening? What the blank is going on?" One disc jockey from Detroit believed that all these tragedies were a no-brainer and provided Plant with what he believed to be the obvious answer. He stated, quote, "If Jimmy Page would just lay off all that mystical, occult stuff and stop unleashing all those evil forces." Jimmy Page sought to evade what was becoming known more and more as the Led Zeppelin curse by saying, quote, "A lot of negative things have occurred recently, but tragedies happen." The London Evening News ran a headline declaring Zeppelin's black magic mystery. The article reported, quote, "An unnamed source close to the group commented, quote, 'It sounds crazy, but Robert Plant and everyone around the band is convinced that Jimmy's dabbling in black magic is responsible in some way to Bonzo's death and for all those other tragedies. I think the 3 remaining members of Zeppelin are now a little afraid of what's going to happen next.'"
And as we talk, the band leader says, "How long have you fellas been involved with sorcery?" And he shocked us a little bit. And I said, "Exactly what do you mean?" "Well," he said, "you know, what you people are doing, talking to the supposed spirits of the dead." He says, this is silly."
And this man had been at the seance with you.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And he's telling you that it's silly what you've just done.
Because see, my wife, he says, goes to these seances because she gets comfort and she gets something good out of it, good feeling out of it. And she lives for what the spirits you know, are going to see that the future is going to be like. To me, he says, "I can't bother with this stuff." He says, "I want power. I go right to the source of power." And he says, "How do you think that I became famous the way that I am?" Well, I said, "You must have had some good luck." Well, he says, "There's no such thing as good luck." He says, "There's either some power working for you somewhere, or you don't get ahead in this world. Not in my type of occupation." So it went from there. We got talking about spirit worship.
Did it intrigue you? Or did it make you want to find out more about what exactly he was talking about?
Yeah. So he said the supposed spirits of the dead that you're talking with are demon spirits. They're fallen angels. They're beautiful beings.
Just set it out, just like that.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't make you uneasy when he said they were...
Well, you know, it shocked you a little bit, you know. Something that you first hear mentioned to you. He said, "You guys have got a great future ahead of you. Because we've been told, the high priest of our society, secret society, has been told that the master has very special plans for you too."
Now, what did he mean by the master?
Satan. And we were interested to hear more about it. And he told us, he says, "Look, we worship spirits. We worship Lucifer and all his angels. They're just as beautiful as they did before they were cast out of heaven." He says, "There was a misunderstanding in the whole thing," he says, "among the inhabitants of the galaxies." And he says, "Our master was misunderstood."
Your friend, George, took you and Roland to this mansion where people worshipped the demons.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like there? What kind of people were there?
Well, it was a big surprise for me, as I kind of made up in my mind an idea that they were going to be rough-looking characters. But as we entered the place, I was amazed to see that they were all very well dressed, well-mannered, and that a lot of the people, as we were being introduced to people, were professionals, doctors, attorneys, a lot of business people. And see what they had a praise session to the gods, which is the spirit counselors, which are in charge of legions of spirits, of demon spirits. And they talk about what the Lord of their lives has done for them. The medical doctor that was telling us how he was making operations that had never been made before because people had to be awake, have no feeling. He was able to, carry on the surgeries that had not been done before. But the spirits would give that capacity to be able to operate without people feeling any pain and things. And also without no problem with the blood, because as he would cut his incision, because his incisions, everything open and with no blood running. So he could do the work that has not been done before. This thought kept creeping to my mind. Just how far you go with these spirits before we start paying the price. See?
So it made you just a little bit nervous.
Oh, yes.
But yet you kept going back.
Oh, there was no way out. Because that's what we're told.
You knew at that time.
Yeah.
So you were moving forward more on fear.
More on fear, yes. Because the high priest said that the master had special plans for us in our lives. And that no one ever went into this society unless they were invited by the spirits. See, so that was made very clear. And he also expressed to us the danger, explained to us the danger of going against the will of the spirits.
You were chosen by high-powered demon spirits to be a part of their human, special, privileged group.
You see, these people in Montreal, the society, like the priest mentioned, there's thousands of spirit worshippers in only different societies of spirit worshippers in this world. But he says we are the elite. We know the real truth about the master and his angels.
Hi guys, happy Halloween. We're going to try this again. Didn't work out too well last time. I'm a bit like this though. If you didn't see what happened last time, I'll annotate it up there somewhere. 1, 2, 3. I didn't swear. I don't know. I'm tempted to run out the garden. I really can't do anything with that anyway. The noise is going on. All right.
Excellent. Thanks for doing this, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, look at me. Yeah, I'm very happy for you now to do this yourself. Look at my hand. And you can just start to get yourself into a nice, relaxed, sort of like a trancey medium state that they used to go into, so that the spirits can just play. Excellent. Very nice. You put your hand there, and your hand there, and your feet flat on the floor. Very good. Going to move these around you, closing the curtains on all sides. I want you to remain in the state. Just tell me, did you move the tambourine then?
No.
Did you touch anything?
Mm-mm.
Did you even move?
No.
No. Be absolutely honest. Come back to me first of all. Just open your eyes. Just come back to me. Come back to me. Good, thank you. All right. Did you touch the tambourine?
No.
No. Did you throw it out the curtain just then?
No.
No. Sure?
Yeah.
Okay, come out for a second. Would you absolutely swear blind that you did not touch that tambourine?
I'm positive, yeah.
All right. Did you move at all?
No.
No. All right. Excellent, thank you.
Well, where's it gone?
It's over there at the moment. But you heard it? Did you hear it move?
I heard noise.
You heard noise, but you didn't touch it?
No.
All right. Let me just show you first of all. There's a CCTV camera up there.
Okay.
We were actually filming that from above. I want to demonstrate something to you here and show you exactly what did just happen in the spirit cabinet. Follow me up here. You need to turn so you can see this. Do I need to rewind this?
It's rewound.
It's rewound, okay. Just stand here for me. Okay, now first of all, that is you, yes?
Yes.
Not an actress we've got dressed in the same clothes. That is you, yes?
No, that's me.
Putting your hands on your legs. And your feet flat on the floor. You definitely didn't touch the tambourine?
I didn't touch it.
All right, okay.
I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
That's you, yes?
Yeah.
Did you pick it up and throw it out?
No. I swear to God, I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
How does that feel then, watching that?
Confusing.
But that is definitely you?
Uh-huh.
Yes?
Yeah. But I didn't. Honestly, I didn't touch it.
All right, have a seat for a second. It is weird and it is unsettling. It's unsettling because your mind can play this trick on you and make you do things that you've got no awareness of. This is what used to happen in many Victorian seances. The medium would produce phenomena which were fraudulent. But she herself wasn't really a fraud because she had no memory of doing it, she had no awareness of doing it. She absolutely believed they were real. This is called unconscious fraud. And it explains a lot of these things that went on in Victorian seances. Thank you for doing that. I realise that's a bit freaky to see.
Okay.
Yeah. So, do you want to go?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, how'd you go?
Cool.
Excuse me. Thank you. Take a seat just there for me.
Okay.
In the spirit cabinet. So first of all, we're going to rule out the possibility of any trickery. I'm going to ask you to keep your eyes open. Right, you'll be able to see everything. And I'm also going to rule out the possibility of unconscious fraud by restraining you in the chair.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, no trickery. You can keep your eyes open. No unconscious fraud. You can't move. Okay?
Yeah, just checking it's tight, yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
okay. So we're just going to give him a few seconds. And did you just move the curtain?
No.
Did you all see that?
I saw it.
Well, you can't because you can't move your hands and you
I-
can't kick that
I
high.
can't reach
all right,
it at all.
Okay. Okay, hang on. You've broken it. What happened?
I don't know. I just needed to get out. I don't feel right. That's really weird.
Now just look at me. And what's really important here again is that you can allow yourself just to get into a kind of a comfortable, relaxed trance state, which is exactly what the mediums used to do. They used to get, that's very good, thank you. Just let your eyes close and your head drop down. Okay, great. So, what I'd like you to do, and can we get sound contact with Sally, please? Sally, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sally as well, I'd like you to pick up the board and pen.
Okay.
Take the nib off the pen.
Yeah.
And hold the end of the pen just against the board, and at home do the same thing with the end of your pen against the paper that you're leaning on. I'm going to start trying to get a bit of information about which spirit or which one of the students we might be contacting tonight, all right? And we're going to try and get where the student lived, what city they came from. So Amy, all you're going to do is just to imagine whatever the spirit is that you have in mind, whatever student drew you in through her or his picture, just to begin to move your hand now. And it's a city that you're going to write, but don't think about what you're writing. And also, Sally, as you do this, just allow your hand to write. It doesn't matter what you write.
Okay.
You just allow the hand to move wherever it wants to go. Okay. Can the camera come in and see this, please, Jono? Can we come in and see this? All right, that's fantastic. I'm going to turn this slightly so the camera can see. Okay. Now, I'm not going to mention the name of the city, but what I'd like you to do is just to come back to me and just open your eyes. Great, thank you so much. And I'm just going to show everybody here what we've got. Okay, I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want Sally hearing in the other room. Any particular reason why you wrote that without saying what it is?
No, I sort of put the pen to it and it sort of did it without even thinking. It was like sort of doing it for me. It was really weird.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, it's a big city, but obviously you could have written absolutely anything. I'm going to go over to Sally and find out what she wrote. We're going to open this now so we can see her. I didn't want that influencing you. Sally, just tell us, what city did you write?
London.
Can you hold it up and just show the camera just so we can see that?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's the right way up, but there you go.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, London, I suppose, is a fairly large, obvious city. Maybe that's why you both wrote it. I don't know. However, 2 out of the 12 students, only 2, in fact, did come from London. I'm not going to say which 2 they were because I don't want to influence anything that happens later on. We're now going to take a break. For the next part, you're going to want to get a wine glass and some letters of the alphabet to put around in a circle around the glass. You can use Scrabble tiles or you can just use bits of paper with letters written on them. We're going to use a Ouija board in the next section. If you don't want to do that or you don't want to watch it because you've got objections, religious or otherwise, that's fine. Just please switch off and do not watch the rest of the show. Okay, so a spirit would always announce its arrival at a seance by causing a bell to ring. Okay, and this is a spirit bell. You can see it's just a metal frame with a little bell on the top there. The cup here is actually an athletics prize that we tracked down for the year that the suicides took place. The idea is that you use objects which will be familiar to the spirits or somehow from the same period. The ball is actually a seance ball. The idea is it's fairly light and sort of easy for the spirits to affect. Okay? You can see they're all daubed with luminous paint. This is so that you can see them in the dark. So now one of you has to be a medium for the purposes of the seance. It's not going to be me, but I will help you and guide you through it. So I'm going to choose one of you at random, and I've got 11 cards here for you. Sally, I don't think you should get through this. So I'm going to draw a cross on one of them, mix these up, and basically just ask you each just to take one. Don't look at them yet, but whoever's got the cross will be the medium, all right? So if you just sort of spread them out a bit on the table, and just pull them over to you, but don't look at them yet. Now, obviously none of you is a medium nor has trained to be one, but whoever holds the cross at the moment will absolutely become an effective medium for this seance. That means you will be able to channel the spirit of Jane, and when I talk to you, you'll be able to answer me as Jane and absolutely be her. Okay? So just all turn over your cards. Who's got the cross? Holly, can you just show the camera just so... Great. Thank you. All right. So, Holly, basically, Jane will be able to come through you. I'll talk you through it, and then at a certain point I will say, Jane, are you there? Jane, can I speak to you? And at that point, you're just going to let her come through. You happy doing that? Yep?
I think so.
Okay, all right. This is the time for the camera crew to leave, so I'd like you guys to go, which will leave just us alone in the room with remote control cameras, night vision cameras that are around the room, all right? Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm going to ask you all to join hands with the people on either side of you, so do that now. Okay. Everybody just take a deep breath in and out. And in. You're breathing at the same rate and speed as each person on either side of you. Not only that, but you're breathing in unison with everybody in the circle. You must now keep this circle unbroken. You keep tight hold of the person on either side of you. Whatever you do, you keep the circle unbroken. And Holly, as we do this, I want you just to begin to allow Jane's presence to just form. You'll be able to do this brilliantly, and you just let that start to come to the surface now and just feel that in there. What I want everybody now to do in the room is to move into a welcoming state. I want you to think of a time when you've really been eager to see somebody, maybe somebody you're meeting at an airport that you haven't seen for a long time, somebody that you are in love with, or somebody that you really want to see and you really want to welcome them. And Jane, we welcome you here in this room. The 13 of us welcome you here. Everybody now, again, just focusing on the breathing as well, with your eyes open, breathing in. And then letting it out. And in. And out. And Jane, now as we sit here in this room, we welcome you here. We make this a place of welcoming for you. Holly, I would like you to say to Jane now that she is welcome to be here in the room. Will you say that for me?
Jane, you're welcome to be here in the room.
That's right. Absolutely welcome. Just here in the room, Jane. I want you to feel comfortable. And I want you to make your presence felt by moving the cup for us. Holly, I want you to ask Jane to show her presence by moving the cup.
Jane, show your presence by moving the cup.
Just be present here in the room, Jane. Be here amongst us. Be welcome here. And just moving the cup, Jane, just to let us know that you're here and feel welcome in the room. Okay, we're going to turn our attention to the ball instead. Everybody focusing on the ball. Jane, just allow your presence now to be felt just by moving the ball for us so we can see that you're here. Holly, ask Jane to show us that she's here by moving the ball, to let us know that she's here.
Jane, move the ball to let us know that you are here.
That's right. As we welcome Jane into the room. Just allowing that presence to be here. Okay. Let's turn our attention back to the cup. Okay, all right. Okay, keep the circle unbroken. Keep the circle unbroken. Keep the circle unbroken. Keep the ball moving.
Oh my God.
Keep the circle unbroken. Keep the circle unbroken.
Oh my God.
Keep the circle unbroken. Keep the circle unbroken. Jane? Jane, talk to us now. Be here. How old are you?
6.
Jane, what can you see? What are you aware of?
There's lots of people around.
And what are they doing?
They look like they're having fun.
So I'm going to let you go now. Is that all right?
That's fine.
Thank you, Jane. You can go now. Go now, Jane. Thank you. Okay. What happened? I'm going to light the candle. Keep the circle. I'm going to just unbreak the circle here, and I'm going to light the candle.
Are you okay, Richard?
Everybody all right? Hang on.
Nothing can hurt. Nothing can hurt.
That I shall not fear, fear is the Michael.
Okay. Hang on.
Fear is the little death.
Okay, so I'm going to turn the light on.
Shit, things are hurt, okay?
We're going to bring the camera crew back in. Can we get the crew in, please? Can we just bring the camera crew?
What, everyone screaming? I just heard these two screaming. I was screaming. Fucking hell. Did anyone else feel that? No.
Yeah. Did anybody else see that ball coming
Yes.
straight from my head? It was above my head.
Are you alright? Are you
Okay, I want to ask you individually things about what you were feeling, all right? Because it's really important as well that we know that. So, Holly, what were you just saying?
I could tell there was movement in the darkness. There was something moving round in front of me, and it was like it was bouncing off these two and coming back into me.
And what about because I asked you some questions, or asked Jane some questions through you, as it were, during that. Those answers that you were giving, I mean, where were they coming from as far as you were concerned?
No idea.
No idea, okay.
See?
So you know Holly a bit. What was that like, knowing her and being next to her and feeling that?
It wasn't even her voice. Yeah. And it was just like, it was just so strange, and she was like rocking, and it just wasn't her, and that was what scared me the most. It just wasn't her at all.
Okay, keep the circle unbroken. Keep the circle unbroken. Keep the circle unbroken.
Oh my god.
Keep the circle unbroken. Keep the circle unbroken.
Oh my god.
Circle unbroken. Keep the circle unbroken. Jane, talk to us now. Be here. How old are you?
6.
You don't do anything. You just listen right now.
Hey.
Okay? In the name of our Father in heaven and His Son, the Lord Jesus Christ, we just pray right now for the peace and comfort of God to come upon Rebecca. I pray that her mind may be opened, and we make every evil spirit subject to the Lord Jesus Christ. And all the work of the Satanists in her life, we command that it come to an end in the name of the Lord Jesus. And we pray right now for the love of Christ to come to where she is right now and to overshadow her life. And I place the blood of Christ on Sally right now. On Rebecca. I place the blood of Christ on Rebecca right now. I place the blood of Christ on Rebecca. You are bound by the authority in Jesus. You are bound. In Jesus' name, you are bound. I rebuke you in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. You are bound. And Rebecca is being loosed. Rebecca is being loosed by the power of Jesus Christ. Don't worry, Rebecca. God is in control. Don't you worry. Who are you? Who are you? The keeper? You are subject to Jesus Christ. You are subject to Jesus Christ. Keeper and guardian, I bind you in Jesus' name. Keeper and guardian, I bind you in the name of Jesus. God did not have her call me by an accident, and God would not have thousands of people praying right now.
Well, it wasn't too long that the priest mentioned to us that the time had arrived for us to start trusting the spirits and give the spirits a chance to work for us.
I've heard of mediums in the past, and I've seen some on TV, but I never believed that it was real.
And the cancer, was it up in this part of her body?
Yes.
Because here is where she showed me the cancer's all here.
My sister passed away of breast cancer, and she had mentioned early on that that she's seen something or felt something within the chest.
Right now, she's just counting on you to send her love. Tell everybody you've heard from her, and the suffering is over.
All right.
Oh, one other thing. Whose name starts with an L? She's telling me she's with her, Louise.
The chances of her knowing or even coming close to this person, Louise, which is my cousin, my sister and my cousin were extremely close. That was an experience that I'll never forget, for sure.
One other name she mentions is May, M-A-E, is there.
Conchetta mentioned the name May, and she actually spelled it out, M-A-E. And at the time, I had no idea of who she could possibly be talking about. When I went home, I talked to my wife about my experience, and she indicated her stepmother had recently passed away within the last 12 months, and her middle name was in fact May, M-A-E, and her first name was Annie. And I wanted not to believe. I wanted badly not to believe, but as a result, I just could not deny that she was right on.
She showed me a teapot. So she shows me the teapot, and she said, just show it to you. That's something you would understand.
She mentioned, what does a teapot mean to you? Your mother saying a teapot. Well, we always said tea with my mother and my father, and everybody would come over, and teapots are extremely important in our family. And when at my mother's funeral, we had a little teapot sitting on a table right by her casket.
Necromancy does not consist of conjuring the spirits of the dead. The reason being that man is totally mortal and does not possess an immortal soul. So who are they talking to? He says the friendly demon spirits that have always found over the centuries great delight in impersonating in apparitions departed loved ones and persons of great renown.
You came up with names a lot of times.
Yeah, well, that's them. They came up with names. I get the credit for it, but they're really the ones who are so amazing.
Oh, you're amazing.
That makes me very happy. But if you walk away with anything today, I don't want you to walk away with saying, I'm amazing. I want you to walk away saying, my family's not dead. Your mother is with other people, lots of them, tells me that she's so proud of you. She said something about a car. Did you just get a car? You did. She said, good luck with the car, baby. She saw you there. She's telling me she's in the car. She says something about it having something in it. I'm not quite sure. Do you have something of your mother's in the car that you keep there? Oh, good. That's why she's saying it then, because she says, I see the car, see what you keep in there. And she also says to tell you that you, when you were born, I don't know if you were the first girl or the
twin.
Oh, then you came out first? That's why. So you have a twin sister?
Yes.
And you were the first one to come out?
Yes.
That's why she's saying it. Anyway, she's telling me she can breathe again. She couldn't breathe at the end. And the fact is that really tortured you, that you could see her struggling like that. And she's saying, tell my daughter that it's paradise. The paradise of God is beautiful. And she's with parents of hers that she loves very, very much. And that you would be happy to know that they're all together. They're all together. And you've kept a box of pretty pieces of jewelry that belong to her that she's really glad that you've kept. And she keeps telling me, you're going to be all right, darling. You're a good girl, and you're going to be all right. And that she loves you all. I don't know how to put this in any other words except to say, I love you so much, my father. I love you so much, my beloved parents. But this was a daddy's girl. There's no question. She was a daddy's girl. And you took care of her every need, every time. Thank you, she's saying. Thank you. I remember. I remember. You're always asking, do you know how much I love you? Do you know how much I love you? Daddy loves you. She says, Daddy, I know. I know. And she keeps telling me to answer that question for you, because when you're alone, you ask her all the time. She tells me that you just recently moved some photographs around. She saw you moving some photographs. She saw you standing there, and you were standing there lingering, looking at the pictures. It was of great joy to her because she was speaking to you in your subconscious. The two of you are wonderful parents. Please remember that always. There was nothing more you could have done. They want you to know that. She also says that there's something about it looks like a cruise. Are you both going on a cruise, or are you doing something by the boats, or?
Yeah, we have a family cruise every 5 years.
Okay.
And we didn't want to go this year because and she
can you
wants us to
stand?
go.
Oh my God. No, she wants you to go. Please.
Did you ever witness an event where necromancy, or even something that would be popularly called channeling today, took place, where you actually heard the voice of someone in response to someone's questions?
Yeah, a number of times, but there was one time in particular that fascinated me because it was unique.
And so he asked the questions of one of these human beings that was channeling.
Oh yeah, the voice changed and everything. The voice changed of the person completely.
Okay.
And
it identified itself as a spirit guide.
Oh yeah, spirit counselor, yeah.
They have told me that they are extraterrestrial intelligences from another star system, I guess is the closest thing you could say, and yet they're also multidimensional beings. Even though they do have physical forms, they're not quite the same as ours are. And there are others too that I've seen that are extraterrestrial, that look different from them, but they seem to work together.
Another channeler, Pat Rodegast, channels a spirit called Emmanuel. In her book simply called Emmanuel's Book, Rodegast describes her first encounter. The first time I saw Emmanuel, he appeared, as he still does, as a being of golden light.
And they always praise the great master, Satan, as a super intelligent being that he is, beautiful to behold, and if he ever appears to you, you won't be able to look upon him because it'll be too bright. It'll just ruin your vision. The high priest said he was in Chicago, and the spirit appeared to him, and he said the angel was so bright that he could not look upon him. And he says after he picked up the phone to dial, he couldn't dial the phone because of the fact that his vision was so terribly blurred by the light, the beautiful light of the bright being.
And there was nothing normal when patches of light floated over the scientists' heads and slowly changed into spectral forms.
The diffuse patches of light would take the form just of a human face, moving round the room with the direct voice very, very faintly coming from the diffuse patch of light, and the lips moving again very faintly.
And even more remarkable forms were to appear.
They looked like angelic forms.
Is that what's over my hands? Oh my
very fortunate that one came and landed on my hand.
These are great experiences, you see. Again, I must stress, it changes your paradigm. You go in thinking none of this can be true, but after experience after experience after experience, it gradually dawns on you, hey, there's something going on here that we can't explain by normal scientific laws, but which nevertheless exists.
While it was recording, nothing unusual was seen. But when the tape was played back, these remarkable pictures appeared.
We had images on the video, sometimes of what looked like a tunnel of light. Other times spirit faces were coming towards us. Sometimes what appeared to be a doorway moving.
Skeptics claim these images were created by video feedback, occurring when a camera records its own output. But scientists have ruled this out. Video feedback doesn't produce this kind of result. As to what these extraordinary pictures represent, we can only guess, since their meaning was never explained to the Skoll group. This video, also totally unexplained, appears to be a ghostly face with moving eyes. Later, a few video experiments were attempted in full light. Again, nothing unusual was seen during the recording. However, on playback, this unworldly figure appeared.
And you really felt something for real. It wasn't just a...
You didn't touch me.
They were... No.
Somebody touched my shoulder. David?
He touched my shoulder while your eyes were closed. Out of your purse?
Preferably rabbit, bunny, Shetland pony.
Oh, there is literally nothing in it. Well, actually...
That wasn't in my purse, oh my God!
Tight. Say, no, tight. Say a number from 1. Well, think of a number from 1 to 20.
Yeah, got it.
17? Here, I got a present for you.
Was it 17?
Right,
it was 17.
Yeah. But I have a present for Mr. President. It's a...
Oh, God. I took my watch off.
I think we're being set up for something very serious and very big by some very powerful secret societies that very well could have extraterrestrial or otherworld intelligence guiding it. I am very fearful for the world we live in. I want to know who's behind this new world order, who put the Egyptian pyramid on the dollar bill.
Is any part of our government actually working with aliens, if you want to use a shorthand term? It's not a good term, but let's say aliens. I'm leaning in the direction of saying yes, probably.